Hi everyone, this is Miss Katie, and today I'm going to talk about schedules, structure, routines, and why they are so important for your child. Now, I wrote a couple of things out as to how I feel about routines or how I know some people feel about routines. So routines can be very comforting and um, cuddly, like a warm blanket to children. Um, they're predictable. Schedules, structure, and routines are easy for some people to set up or hard for some people to set up. Some sometimes they're hard for people to stick to. Sometimes they can be fun. Sometimes they can be like an anchor of familiarity for a child. Sometimes they're helpful to parents. Sometimes they support children in having a stronger foundation. Sometimes they help children have better behavior. Sometimes people find them boring. And sometimes you can just kind of click into a schedule, a routine, and it's like a train clicking into a track where it makes life very predictable, very smooth, and it's almost like being on autopilot. Um, And yes, it's very comforting like a blanket. It can be like a blanket for children. Because let's think about children, okay? We make so many decisions for them. We pick their name, we pick where they're going to live, we pick which room is theirs, whether they sleep with us or not, what school they go to, what clothes we buy for them. There's just so many things that are controlled for children. And yet, when we create a schedule and when we create a structure for them, we end up letting them feel powerful. So the children know what comes next. They know if, like a bedtime routine. So this was something we discussed in class today. So one of the families shared that they have, let's say they have dinner at 6 o'clock, they hang out, they have game and puzzles, they play puzzles, they brush teeth, they go to the restroom, they read books sometimes if there's time, and then they're in bed by 8 o'clock, or in winter time, they're in bed by 7:30. So depending on when it gets dark outside. So this is a structure, this is a schedule that a family has made up for their children. Some families have more structure when the children are toddlers and kind of loosen things up as they get older. Some families will start at 8 p.m. with the showers, brushing teeth, and getting into bed before 9. Um, they say that preschoolers need about 12 to 14 hours of sleep. Some preschoolers do not nap, so they do need have to go to sleep earlier since they do not nap and they need more sleep. Some families stick to a routine, a schedule during the week, but have it be a little more loose. Maybe they start their schedule at 7:30, and then on the weekends they have it's more loose because maybe they're doing activities or they're visiting people or doing different things. But what's interesting about schedules is different people, so different, mostly adults, a lot of the time we crave um, variety. We crave spontaneity, doing different things, doing fun things, not doing the same thing every day of the week. But when we have children, we need to create a foundation for them. They need sameness, they need routine, and they learn through repetition. If you've attended my circle time is very repetitious. We always start with the good morning song. Good morning, everyone. Circle time is here, right? We start with that. We salute the flag. We say the ABCs. We do our number song. We talk about what letter. We cover a letter of the ABC feelings once a day, every day, one letter, and then we do our colors in 4 languages. So there's a structure, and then we do our song cards. So there's a structure. There's a repetition to it. Adults resist repetition. Adults, a lot of the times, resist routines. Routines are sometimes boring. It's true for adults. But for children, it's a beautiful way to set a foundation for them, to set structure for them to build on. If you start by sending them to bed early, and then maybe they become more of an early bird type of child, school becomes easier. Their homework time and nighttime schedules, if that's what they're used to, it's very easy to implement school into that structure. Some families have a thing where the children stay up till 11 o'clock or midnight with the parents, and then they wake up at 10 a.m. But the thing is, a lot of children will wake up early. Even if they go to bed at midnight, they still wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. They'll still wake up early, because this is the thing about sleep. The hours before midnight count as double. So if you put your child to bed at 7 or 8 o'clock, those hours that they're getting before midnight count as double. The same for adults. And you feel more rested when you wake up earlier in the morning. But if you go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning and then wake up at 10, that's 9 hours, but most of us do not feel good after that 9 hours sleep. We still feel tired and groggy and not as well rested. And that's because the hours before midnight are really prime sleeping hours. So you may want to tap into those hours. At least for adults, going to bed at 10, 10:30 makes a huge difference. 10:30 versus midnight makes a huge difference. I made that change in my life. I always thought of myself as a night owl, as my parents considered themselves night owls. So getting up for school was always drudgery for me. Even as an adult, like I would stay up late, like I'd wait for my kids to go to sleep, and then I would stay up really late, and then I couldn't get up with them in the morning, and mornings were just always dreaded. So this is a way, now I'm an early bird, and I switched that way of thinking. I switched my schedule in my, I want to say in my 40s, and I'm 53. So I switched that in my 40s, and it really, I have found that I'm less grouchy, more rested, my brain works better. And so give it a try. So if you set up your child with a structure and with a schedule and honor that, even if you have a family commitment during the week, making sure to get to do your schedule, to do your structure within that. Maybe you're only at that dinner for a little bit of time because it's a priority for your child to have that structure during the week. When they start school, when they go into kindergarten, they will be ready to go. They will be better. It will be a less painful transition into the world of an elementary school child. So also I find that with having these structures and schedules, that children actually behave better. They have better behavior. I noticed with my grandson, we have a structure, we have a schedule, we start the bath about 7, we get him into bed around 8. I never cut out the stories. I'll even just read one story because I value literacy and book reading very high on my family value, on my personal values system. So take that into consideration. In nonviolent parenting, we do take into consideration the family values or your personal value system, and you're teaching that to your child. And you have a limited amount of time to do that. I think till age 10 or 12, they're still absorbing our values. And after a certain age, they've already taken everything that they're going to take from their parents. So, and maybe that's when the independence and the autonomy of teenagehood comes into play, you know? So let's see. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that, let's see, so having structure, having schedules, and what it is a lot of families will say, a lot of adults will say, when I have a child, that child's gonna have to conform to my lifestyle and to what I'm doing. So then you bring a child, a little one, into the adult world, and you're not laying down the foundation. You're not teaching them. You're assuming that they're just going to learn it quickly along the way. But again, children learn through repetition, and children's brains develop best when they go to bed early and they have those prime hours before midnight. And I would say a little one, you know, all of our children should be in bed by 7, 8 o'clock. I believe so. So it's part of, like, we want to build a healthy brain. And if we're putting them to bed late and then they're grouchy in the morning, maybe we go to bed at midnight as adults and then all as a family, and then they're waking up at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or earlier, and they're grouchy and they're tired, and then they take a late nap, and then you just start that process all over again. You'll notice that when children are not getting proper rest, there's a lot of crying, there's a lot of there's a lot of drama, and a lot of struggle, and everything is harder to do. It's like walking in wet cement, and it's just so difficult. But I find that if you get them to bed early, it makes family life smoother, easier, and we're setting up a foundation for future success in an elementary school. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on structure and schedules and routines for little ones. And we have about the first 6 years to set up this foundation for them. After that, you can still do it, but it becomes a little more difficult to do that for them because it's what they're used to. If your child's 2, 3, 4 years old, even 5, start now. Start now and set that foundation for them, and help your child be successful in their elementary school years that are coming, and they're right around the corner. They'll be here before you know it. So thank you for listening to my YouTube, and I hope that you have a great day. Take good care, and I hope to see you in class. Take good care. Bye-bye.